Alright folks, Silveus here, back to show you some more areas around Svargrand. This time it's going to be Helheim. Before, as I walk to the stupid NPC real quick, I just want to comment that I actually recorded the first maybe 10-15 minutes of this video when the recording was cut, and the reason for that was because I had maxed out my hard drive entirely. I had forgotten to delete any of my previous videos, so there we go. So to get to Hellheim, you have to continue a quest chain called the Ice Islands, which requires you to become an honorary barbarian of Svargrand first. It's the same quest line that allows you to get to Nibelor, whatever. After you get far enough in it, a quest sends you to Helheim. It's actually a pretty tough quest too, by the way. And you have to talk to this idiot here, Buttle. Buttle, unlike every other boat NPC in the game that allows you to just go up to him and be like, hi, face, yes, he requires you to say passage first, and then you can tell him you want to go to Helheim. If you don't say passage, he'll just tell you something stupid about the island. Second issue with Buttle, he's drunk. So sometimes, instead of taking you to Helheim, he takes you to the raider camp, so you get to try again. I forgot to say passage. See, this is what I'm talking about. I hate this guy. Helheim. Yes. Alright, this time he took me to Helheim. I hate Buttle. Buttle is an undead island. Very small surface area with a minor amount of, like, very weak undead. Things start getting interesting. By the way, this is shaped like a skull. I don't know if you see it. You can kind of see it on my map. And if you look at it, yeah, it's a skull. It's kind of neat, honestly. Anyway, things start getting interesting when you go down one level. You get ghouls, which aren't super great. You also get mummies. Mummies are a little bit tougher. They paralyze, sometimes heavily. Paralyze comes in degrees, and mummies paralyze somewhat heavily. They also poison you, but they drop a decent amount of money, and they drop a decent amount of pretty valuable stuff. So mummies are actually a pretty cool thing to hunt. Although I'm not having a lot of luck with them right now. There's a couple of staircases down in Helheim, but it's been a while since I've been here, so I'm not 100% certain where they are. But I know for a fact since I marked this one up here. Now that mummy just poisoned me, because I'm an idiot and let him. I also brought some brown mushrooms for food. Brown mushrooms are notable as a food source because they are very lightweight, but provide decent food and also don't cost all that much money. Alright, down a level, we start running into demon skeletons. Demon skeletons hit hard, I think are immune to fire, and are generally pretty tough monsters. The fact that it pops you into that small room is not great. They do drop some, they drop ninja stars, which kind of isn't really a relevant thing unless you're a paladin. And if you're hunting here, they're probably not a relevant thing for you either. But they drop a decent amount of money. They drop battle shields and battle helmets, or battle hammers, sorry, which are decent money. They also drop small mana potions and small health potions. Crypt Shamblers are similar to demon skeletons, but I think they're a little weaker and a little bit more defensive oriented. That half-digested piece of meat is a creature product. You can also see, excuse me, I was paralyzed, which is why I'm super slow right now. So this is the staircase we're looking to go down, but first I'm going to kill that demon skeleton. Now, there's different ways to get down into Helheim, the various levels, and there's different staircases. I find this one's the safest because it just drops you out with the two demon skeletons here. And usually that Bonebeast, which is the larger threat in this area, is further away and doesn't see you at first, so you can take care of the two demon skeletons. Not my luck today. Bonebeasts, I think they can heal a little bit. They drop kind of crappy loot for the most part. They're not really profitable. And like I said, they hit really hard in melee. They also paralyze and they poison. An upside to them is if you have an obsidian knife, you can skin their corpses and sometimes get hardened bones, which are used for like outfit add-on quest. So we're now on the first level of Hellheim that has Bonebeasts. So if you're doing the Bonebeast task, you need to be at least on this level. That said, I think there's only 7 Bonebeasts on the first level. You can kind of hard to see where I'm at on the map because of the different icons, but I'm right here. And I think the Bonebeast task is, it's asking you to kill 300 of them. So if you're trying to kill 300 of them 7 at a time, it's going to be a little bit tough. I will let this Bonebeast hit me. He hits me for 134, and he poisoned me. And the poison starts at 6. So, I mean, they're not as powerful as giant spiders, obviously. They also don't give as much EXP as giant spiders. But they don't drop anything terribly valuable, and they hit pretty hard. They paralyze, they poison, and they're kind of tough. So unless you need hardened bones or you're doing the task on them, they're not all that fun to take care of. They're worse for a knight, obviously. Paladins can hunt them pretty easily, and so can mages. Gonna skin that one. So we're gonna kind of keep going up here. Yeah, kill that demon skeleton. Blah, 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 blah. I'll eat some more brown mushrooms. There we go. Make sure I'm regenerating. That's a topic I haven't touched on in any of my videos, but in Tibia, you eat food. And by eating food, you slowly regen HP, and you also slowly regen mana. The rate is based off of your class. Mages, both of them. Both mages have the same regeneration rates. So sorcerers and druids regen at the same rate. Where they regen health really slow, but magic really fast. Paladins are kind of in the middle. And then knights are slow mana regen, high HP regen. And when you get a promotion, it just increases things. Makes them faster. Alright, this is a just little tiny room here with a bunch of mummies and some, demon skeletons. There is no bone beast up here, and it doesn't lead to anything else. This is all that's in this room. So, we just kind of kill those guys. And we be on our merry way. I filled up my bag. This is a smaller mana potion. I'm going to just drink it. Sometimes I keep them with me, other times I just drop them. And the reason why I would drop them or just drink them, I'm sorry, I don't drop them, is because my hotkey is set to only drink these stronger potions, not the weaker ones. This is actually a strong mana potion. So I can't quickly hotkey that. Alrighty, so. Alright, I don't know if anybody heard that yo. That comes from people. See, I got like a little sign on my door that says I'm, doing a recording right now. And it just says like recording. And then if you flip it over, it says not recording, right? So it's like really simple to read it. And like people kind of just look at that sign and are like, I don't know how to read. And just open up my door and walk in and go yo at me. This is why, living alone is like an ideal state of being, I think. Companionship is bullcrap. Solitude is the way to go. Anyway, so yeah, we continue here. We kill some demon skeletons. There is something I want to note here. Let me kill these 2 bone beasts. 2 bone beasts and a demon skeleton is kind of not something I want to let hit me. Oh, there we go. Yeah, see, bone beasts have a tendency to drop absolutely nothing of value. They do drop plate armors, but if you're routinely fighting bone beasts, plate armor is a joke and not something you want to pick up. I'll just drink this potion too, restore my health a little bit. Alright. So yeah, we continue on down this way. Another bone beast that dropped nothing but a bone. Oh, but I got a hardened bone from skinning it that time. Alright. Now, you'll note that when you kill monsters, you can walk over their corpses, right? Right. You'll see that skeleton there. It's a dead skeleton. Pile of bones. Whatever. It is essentially, though, visually a dead skeleton. You'll notice that if you try to walk over it, this happens. Blah, 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 blah. That's because it's actually a quest item. The pile of bones is empty. If you right-click on that pile of bones, you'll get a bag, I think, with some items in it. One of which is a shard, so I mean, it's an easy, super, super easy, like just 1k. Or actually, I think shards are closer to 2k. So yeah, it's just a super easy 2K. So if you go here, there's absolutely no reason to not pick that up, obviously. You can only pick it up once per character. Oh, I got another Hardened Bone. It's also worth mentioning, though, that sometimes I've almost died because I thought I could run over that, and you can't. It stops your movement. So I've been like, oh my god! And then the Bone Beast gets up to me and starts hitting me, and I'm panicking, not sure why I'm taking damage. So that kind of thing happens, and it's not great. Alright, so we got a Demon Skeleton here. I should have finished him off with a spell, not wasted one of my valuable bolts on it, but whatever. Demon Skeleton over here. Demon Skeleton over there. Demon Skeletons everywhere. Bam. There should be a Bone Beast in this room somewhere. This is another way down. I'm gonna pop up real quick so you can kind of see it. I figures I would miss that. Being a paladin, and to a lesser extent being a knight, is kind of like playing FTL in that it's just a series of annoying misses a lot. So I'm actually going to go back down and deal with this later. When I go to leave Hellheim, I'll exit through that route, alright? Okay, there's the Bone Beast. He just moseyed on down that hallway a little bit. I wonder if somebody's down here. Sometimes, like, if people want to get to the lower floors, they just run past the monsters so they don't have to, like, waste their time and resources killing, like, demon skeletons and stuff like that. So it's possible that somebody just charged past everything, and that's why everything's kind of out of position. That sucked. I just barely didn't kill him. Well, an interesting thing about Tibia, right, is that you can only deal enough damage to kill a monster. So even though my bolts usually hit for around 400, if I shoot a bolt at him, it'll only hit for however much HP he has. So, he had 5 HP left. An interesting aspect of that, too, is it makes it kind of hard to figure out what your maximum damage is. Because on a low-level monster that you can hit really hard, it won't have a lot of HP, so you can't actually see how much damage you would do. So you have to find a monster that has more HP, but a monster with more HP is going to have a comparable increase in like defense and armor. And like resistances, and potentially take less damage. So anyway, this is the last Bone Beast that shows up on the top floor. And I'm going to kill it in a second, unless I keep missing. There we go. And a bone. Yeah, Bone Beasts just do not drop good loot. One thing to note about Bone Beasts, and semi to note about this quest, is this task, sorry. Bone Beasts can be summoned by another type of monster called a Lich. Killing summoned Bone Beast does not count towards your task kills, and also you can't skin summons because they disappear right away. But occasionally if you're exploring and you do run into a Bone Beast, be a little cautious. The same thing I said about poison spiders when I was in the Plains of Havoc. If you see a Bone Beast but it's not targeting you for some reason, and it doesn't appear to be targeting somebody else, there's a chance it's a summon. And Liches are very powerful and can summon up to 4 Bone Beasts, and Bone Beasts are pretty powerful. So we're going to go down here, and down here is going to be a room full of Beholders. Sorry, they're not called Beholders anymore. Beholders, if you know, are a monster from Dungeons & Dragons. Big floating monster face thing with a single eyeball in the center of its head and tentacles with other eyeballs. Wizards off the Coast trademarks that crap. You can't call them Bone Beholders. Tibia used to call them Beholders, and there was Beholder helmets and Elder Beholders and Beholder shields, but now they're called Bonelords. Bonelords shoot magic attacks of various elements, and they also mana drain. And they summon skeletons. And then there's going to be a whole bunch of Bone Beasts down here. So I'm going to take care of that in, wow, the Bone Beasts are not here, which is kind of awesome. Usually, this is significantly more dangerous of a situation. Usually, you pop down that staircase, and there's like 4 Beholders, and like 4 or 5 Bonelords that all just kind of charge at you and hit you at the stairs. So normally what I have to do when I try to go down that staircase is by popping down, letting all the Bone Beast come over to me, and then hitting them with my Divine Caldera, which is that like area burst holy attack that I do. And then I pop back up the stairs, heal as well as I can, drink some mana potions, and then drop back down the stairs, wait for them to charge towards me, rinse and repeat multiple times. This time, though, since none of them were at the stairs for some reason, I'm definitely thinking somebody else just ran through here. Running through here, by the way, like running through a lot of quests is actually something you can do semi-easily, as long as you're positive you know where you're going. If you take a dead end or a wrong turn while you've got 1,000 things chasing after you, you are about to be a very sad person. For one. And for two, you really need to know like how fast the enemies are. Like, are you sure you can outrun them? Are there paralyzers in the group of enemies? Because even if you can outrun them, if you get paralyzed and then all of a sudden swarmed, you're going to regret your decision. So yeah, you got to be careful of those things. You also want to make sure, like ranged enemies, you can't really run away from them because they're just going to hit you with ranged attacks. So you do have to be a little careful with your situation. And there's a very fine line between like, oh, I can do this without no trouble, or oh, I can do this with a little bit of trouble, and oh, I'm going to die in the middle of this. So you do want to be cautious just running past monsters. And yeah, again, like you definitely need to know how far you're running, where you're running, when you need to turn, and kind of even to a lesser extent where the monsters are and things like that. But yeah, like I could have probably run through this. You also need to know too, like what the situation is going to be at, like where you run to. So like if I ran through this room with the end goal of going down the staircase, and then I go down the staircase and there's a ton of things around the staircase, kind of like there almost was, you'll have problems. Because you can't go back up because you just lured everything else that was upstairs to where the top of that staircase was. And there's a good chance that you came down the stairs at reduced HP. So yeah, you have to be a little careful with just running hordes of monsters. He got me at the last second right before I killed him. That's so annoying. Alright, so this is the final floor. And there's a quest here for the reason why you're going to Helheim. There's also an assortment of kind of cool monsters, so I'm going to show them to you. I'm not capable of killing many of those kind of cool monsters, unfortunately. At least not without kind of heavy... Why did I waste a crossbow bolt on that summon skeleton? I'm going to just leave that Crypt Shambler behind there too, because I think that Crypt Shambler is a summon. Alright. So, the first thing is this place. So we're going to just pop down. And there's some vampires and a whole bunch of other unpleasancies. There's also a monster in there called a Bonedeath. Yeah, I'm not doing so hot right now. Oh boy. Oh boy. So I can kind of take like one brain death at a time, but they hit sort of hard, and you know, as you can see, it also had friends in here. So yeah, brain deaths hit kind of hard with magical range attack, and they also summon vampires, and vampires are not a real threat to me, but they're also kind of not something I want to just let be hitting me. They were hitting me kind of hard. So yeah, there's another one of these places I think that have 2 brain deaths, and they're just undead beholders, by the way. And then these are elder beholders. I'm sorry, bonelords. Elder bonelords. You can see it. It says elder bonelord. Elder bonelords paralyze. They summon crypt shamblers, and they summon baby bonelords, which are called gazers. Yeah, see, if you look in here, there's another brain death. There's 2 brain deaths plus a bone beast. So I'm not going into that pit full of brain deaths, vampires, and bone beasts. It'll probably... There's a good chance I'll just die. Boom. Oh. Nothing worse than just repeatedly missing. Just like the... Oh, jeez. That was a little sketchy there. I had to waste one of my expensive potions. One of the things you want to do, and it's kind of annoying with Bonelords because Bonelords mana drain, you want to keep your mana up a little bit more than I currently do because I'm a bad Tibia player sometimes. You don't want to just kind of stay at the point where you can only shoot out 1 heal before you run out of mana entirely. And I have a tendency to do that. So in here, I'm going to pop down into this one and try to kill the Brain Death again. Because I make poor decisions, but it's cool. Gotta kill the Elder Bonelord first, though. Alright, now we target the Brain Death. Come on. I think the Brain Death can paralyze? I also think the Brain Death does, in fact, have a melee attack. It just tries to avoid melee. There we go. Brain Death dead. Brain Death dead, and no meaningful loot from it either. What do you mean I can't use that object? Oh, hey, I'm getting a kick right now in Tibia. See how I'm not capable of moving? Ooh, okay, that wasn't an actual solid kick. That was just major lag. That would have been probably deadly if any of the things in here were still alive. And that's... Oh, I'm really laggy. This is not good. Lag is bad. I'm lagging really hard again. I might be getting kicked. Oh, boy. Well, while I wait for this to fix itself, because it might fix itself... yeah, that wasn't it fixing itself, by the way. That was it disconnecting fully. Well, I just gotta log back in. That is a Tibia kick. Tibia does that sometimes. It's bad when it does. I'm glad that you guys can't see my password while I'm typing this in. The trick actually here is that my password is in fact just a line of asterisks. And also, yeah, I just suck at life and can't type it. Okay, I'm back. Woo! Getting kicked is annoying because it closes all your backpacks and everything too. Ugh. Anyway, that altar there is part of the quest, and it's the reason why you're sent to the Ice Islands in that quest. So if you're doing that quest, this is where you end up needing to go. You just have to fight one Brain Death and one Elder Beholder at the same time. Also, when you're down on the ground floor here, they can kind of see you through the wall. They can't target you, but they know that you're there, so they'll start summoning monsters. So if you're going to go down one of these, run just straight to the staircase and then go up. Because that gives them less time to summon things, because they can't see you while they're above you. Or you're above them. Likewise, if they're above you, if you're a floor below them. So yeah, if you hang out down here, you'll let the Brain Death summon its vampires, and you'll let the Elder summon its Crypt Shamblers or Gazers. And then you'll have a much harder time. If you can just charge right up there and get in there, maybe you'll only have like one vampire to fight. So I'm still going to just kind of loop around here, though, finish showing you this place. Because this is a pretty, like, a decent spot to be hunting Bonebeasts, I suppose. There's another spot to hunt Bonebeasts that I don't have on this character, so I'm going to switch to my other character for another video. Eventually. Just not right now. So yeah, we're going to kind of loop around here. Oop, I just got paralyzed by that Elder Bonelord. Now he's shooting at me. What a suckhead. 6537, yeah. So the Beholders in this game speak a language that I forget what exactly it's called, but it is in fact just numbers. So there is a couple of I'm gonna keep calling them Beholders, but just know that they're Bonelords. There are a couple of Bonelord NPCs that you can speak to, and they comment and about things. There's a Tibia rumor of sorts that the Bonelord language is actually something that isn't just nonsense. And that, like, if you're smart enough, you can actually figure out what the, like, specific numbers mean. And that isn't an entirely unreasonable assumption, because a while back, when you first started a new character in Tibia, you had to start on an island called Rookgard. Nowadays, you start on an island called Dawnport, but I think you can still get to Rookgard in some way, shape, or form. Anyway, the important part was there was an NPC on Rookgard called the Blind Orc, and as its name indicates, he was an orc that was blind. There was a book, though, you could find on Rookgard that was the language of orcs. So it would tell you how to, like, it would actually have text that you would have to read. And in that text were descriptions on what certain words were in Orcish. So you could go to the blind orc and then sell items to him or buy items from him. So people think that the Bonelord number language, I forget exactly what it's called. It is just numbers though. It's like 573 or something like that. Is something that you can actually, like, a human mind can learn what it is and then communicate with the Beholder NPCs. Bone Beast over here. So now this one has something unpleasant in it that I'm not going to go into, but I'll get close enough so that you can see it. Crypt Shamblers. It would be kind of cool if I could get into a position where you can actually see what's inside of there. Ooh, 2 Elder Beholders. Interesting fact, the Elder Bonelord tentacles are not worth pretty much anything besides what you can get to an NPC. Regular Bonelord tentacles, though, are needed for a quest and then are actually, like, pretty valuable. Which is a funny fact, I suppose. Alright. Lost Soul, as you see him pop up in my little combat window. He's in there somewhere. I can't really go in there. Lost Soul, there you go. It's a shame you can't see him. It would be kind of cool if I could, like, let you see him. There you go. See, he's the Lost Soul right there. You can tell how powerful a monster is based off of how much EXP it gives, for instance. So, and right now I'm in, like, boosted EXP time, and I think I will be for a little while longer. Yeah, another 21 minutes. So when you're in boosted EXP time, you get a 50% bonus EXP. So you kind of got to do, like, a little bit of math. But as you'll see real quick, like, I'll kill this Bone Beast, and it gives, yeah, so it gave me 870 EXP, so I think it normally gives around, like, 500 and something. So a dragon gives, I believe, 900 unboosted EXP. So a Bone Beast is 550 to 900 EXP, kind of. You can think of it that way. However, things, like, it's not a perfect scaling world. Like, a dragon is not twice as powerful as something that gives 450 XP. And, like, power comes in lots of different scales, so it's even worse. I'm attacking the wrong Bonelord. Worth mentioning, though, is that, like, Lost Soul is a, like, 3,000 EXP monster. Which is, like, very, very high in the game. 3,000 EXP for, like, a normal I'm in a cave monster and not, like, a boss is one of the, like, upper thresholds of, like, monster power in this game. So as we look in here, kind of hoping he'll come down a little bit. You saw that wave. That was the wave from the monster. There's an undead dragon in there, and he's just not going to cooperate with me because he sucks at life. Undead dragons do, like, super massive damage, so they're definitely not something I want to go anywhere near. Incidentally, though, they do a lot of their damage through death type damage and also through a curse type damage. Paladins are the only vocation that has a cure curse spell and also have a bunch of equipment that makes them resistant to death damage. So Paladins are the only class that can kind of, without huge waste or needing to be a really high level, effectively hunt undead dragons. The Undead Dragon is like a 3,500 EXP monster, and it's super offensive oriented too, so, like, I can't even go down there. It'll just destroy me. Yeah, I don't know if you saw it there for a second, but that's as best I can do. I'm sorry, guys. I can't go down. I can't do that. Like, I can totally just die immediately with that Undead Dragon. So that was the Undead Dragon, and then inside of this one, there's another uber-powered monster called a Betrayed Wraith. There it is. And that's another super high power monster. So yeah, you do not want to go down into any of those unless you're really confident of yourself. Also worth noting is the fact that the weakest one of those is in fact the Lost Soul, and they're only considered the weakest in that they're very defensive oriented and they heal really fast, have a lot of HP, but don't hit all that hard. So I could conceivably hop down with the Lost Soul, because the Lost Soul probably wouldn't kill me in one hit. I just definitely would not be able to deal enough damage to kind of counteract its healing effectively, and it would be very wasteful for me to try. On the other hand, though, the Betrayed Wraith and the Undead Dragon would just, rip me apart. Eat me for dinner. So yeah, this is this place. Obviously the big problem with this place is the huge amount of Bonelords. They're going to keep draining your mana. They're not super great for knights because they're going to try to run away from you and then summon and kind of make a wall of defenders in front of you. Paladins work pretty well here. I guess mages would work okay too. The Bonelords just kind of make this suck. And Bonelords can be profitable, but this is okay, so that's the thing. This place, the Bonelords make it okay to hunt here, although nothing here is dropping food, which is a negative. But if you're trying to task just to kill Bonebeasts, this is not the best place to go. The other place to go, and I'll show it in another video on my other character, is an island called Ramoa. I didn't really want to let him just hit me there, but Ramoa has Bonebeasts and some demon skeletons, crypt shamblers, and scorpions on the surface. But it has a lot of Bonebeasts and a lot of Bonebeasts. So it's a good place to go if you're just trying to kill Bonebeasts. It's sometimes referred to as the Bonebeast Island, in fact, by people who aren't very creative in their naming senses. Now see, after I said that on this video, if the dude who came up with Bonebeast Island hears it, he's probably going to transfer onto my world and kill me. Fun fact, spellbooks, I don't think this one will. Yeah. Spellbooks can be used as shields, but only by sorcerers and druids. And higher level spellbooks boost your magic level. So, there's an actual reason to use them, because they're very bad as shields. But you can click on them, and it also gives you a list of all of your books, or your spells. So, I have at level 1, Exira Infer, Magic Patch. At level 8, Exira, Light Healing. Utevo Lux, Light. Exiva Para. Para is a, word meaning person's name. So, find person. When you cast Exiva, you do not type the Para. You type Exiva Silveus, and then it'll give you a location of Silveus. Exani Terra is Magic Rope. In case you don't have a rope, you can cast that to go up. Exana Pox is Cure Poison. Exani Her Para is another one where it's Levitate. You type in Exani Her up or down to go up or down. Exavo Khan summons some arrows for me. That takes up my spell points over yonder. Utani Her is Haste. Exavo Khan Mort summons some bolts. Exura Gran is Intense Healing. Exori Khan is Ethereal Spear, which I'll show you at some point. Adori San makes a divine missile rune, holy missile rune, I guess, that you can give to another character or use without wasting your own mana. That's why the mana cost is so much higher for that. Exura San is divine healing. Exori San is divine missile. Exeda Khan creates an enchanted spear from a normal spear. It's a permanent effect until the spear breaks. Exavo Masan is divine caldera. Utura is recovery. Exura Grandsan is a super heal spell, and that's all my paladin spells. So you've seen me shoot that plenty of times. That's Exori-san and Divine Strike, and I killed that too soon. Oh, I'm paralyzed. I didn't even realize. Yeah, sometimes paralyzed is little enough that you can't even tell. And then that is Ethereal Spear. The difference between the two of them is Ethereal Spear deals physical damage. Divine Strike deals holy damage. Most undead tend to be weak to holy. Most humanoids, though, tend to be strong to holy. And, it's just that's how that works. Alright, let's go up and leave this place from the other path. Oh, yeah, and then you pop up. One of the slightly annoying things with Tibia is, they like to put a cluster of monsters right at staircases. both kind of going up and going down. It sometimes makes sense, like there would be a bunch of monsters defending the staircase down to the next level of the dungeon kind of idea. You know, like that's where, like in a normal RPG, like a mini boss would be. The problem is you have to come back up that flight of stairs at some point, and then you're going to just pop out into the center of the room with all those powerful monsters. And it's not exactly great. So yeah, Tibia does that kind of a lot, and it kind of sucks. I'm going to take the plate armor since my inventory is basically unfilled at this point. Normally I would not bother with it. So yeah, though, in the past you used to do a thing called be able to do a thing called stair hopping, which I guess I could oh, it looks like I'm lagging. I could kind of show you. Basically when you stair hop is you go up, you click, you fire, you go back down. You go back up, you click, you would fire, and then you would go back down. What they did though, so that you couldn't do that, because the idea is that you hop up super quick, shoot once, and then go back down before the monsters can really start moving towards you. And then when you aren't up there anymore, they kind of just go on their own little way, and then you pop back up again as they took a step back. They made it so that when you first pop up the stair, there's like a 1 second period of time where you're not allowed to attack, so that you can't stair hop anymore. Because you used to be able to stair hop things that were like insanely powerful as long as they couldn't heal. You could stair hop at like an incredibly low level. It wasn't really profitable a lot of times, but you could do it. So yeah, they changed things. It's kind of an annoying change because it makes those spots where there's a whole bunch of monsters right there at the stairs way more of a problem, because now you actually have to spend a certain amount of time not being able to attack them at first. But anyway. So yeah, these other two wings are just going to be more crypt shamblers and mummies and demon skeletons. So I'm just going to kind of go the way that will take me out of Hellheim, and we're going to finish this little let's play. I kind of want to target the mummy first because it can paralyze me. There we go. Reload my bolts before I run out. I got 355 left, that's fine. And then for my next hunting spot, I'm not going to use bolts. I'm going to use something else. And that'll be another video though. Hopefully I don't die in that video, because the place I'm going to go to, I've died in like 3 separate times. Because I'm awesome like that. Alright. So, staircase up is over yonder. Oh boy. Mommy dead. I shot it in the head. I am like a musical genius, I know. Ah. I do that a lot where I'm pretty confident a monster is going to die, so I just start running towards it, and then it does not die, and then I just run into it, and then it hits me. It is, in fact, a rather bad habit of mine. Alright, so, yeah, if you remember, this is where I first came in at. This, I could have taken the left path or the right path, but I just decided to take the right, because I don't usually take this one. I wanted to be different. Be different and unique. I'll exert my individuality. And goal dead. Alright, oops. And I just went back on the hole. Alright, and we're out of Hellheim. Back to the skull. Now we go back to Buttle, the stupid drunk idiot. And then I'll say to him, High Passage Svargrond. And we'll be done with that. One thing about Tibia is, when I mentioned my blessings in that other video where I said I was doing the Walk of Shame, if you don't have blessings, there's a chance that you drop your equipment and it just appears in your body that lays on the floor. And also, if anybody looks at your body, it'll say, like, you see Silveus, he was killed by, and then whatever. Svargrond. But if they run over and, oh jeez, I hate this guy so much. Svargrond. Yes, there we go. Yeah, if they go over and run in and open up your body, the item that you dropped, including your backpack, will be inside of the body, and they can take your stuff. So the important part is to not die. And if you go onto the Tibia wiki, you can figure out how much blessings cost, and it's based off of your level. There's kind of like some algebraic formula in there, so hopefully you're semi-decent at math. I think, as we saw when I did my blessings on this character, a blessing cost me 13,000. So, I mean, all 5 of them is 13,000 times 5, so a little over 60,000. Your job is to determine whether or not you have a single piece of equipment on your character that's going to cost more than that. You're unlikely to drop 2 things at once, but I mean, it can happen. But you should basically just consider whatever the most expensive piece of equipment is on you, and then base it off of that. If your blessings are going to cost less than a single piece of equipment, just buy blessings. Because if you consider that you're going to need to buy another weapon, or another armor or something like that, it's just significantly worse. Plus, they reduce the amount of EXP you lose and skill value you lose when you die. So, I mean, all things considered, it's still just worth it to have blessings. Alright. Now that I've sold and had said what I had to say, at least on that topic, I have 8 minutes left and close to leveling up. I have 10 million experience points. Consider that for a second, though. And when I died earlier, I dropped down to 9 million something. Anyway, alright, yeah. So I'm going to end this video. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite, click on ads. Sell me your soul. Do whatever you can. Thanks for tuning in for another one of my videos, guys.